Okay, so what I'm about to do now is um, it was meant to be just for one person, but now it's going to be for everyone. It's going to be generic because I think I can do it that way. So this is about if you're watching, if you're getting Section 7, if you're having a Section 7, if you've got a Section 7 interview coming up, this is for you. This is the interview that decides your future. And I'm going to tell you why most men completely mess it up. Now, let me start with the uncomfortable truth, because no one ever tells you this. Not your solicitor, not Cafcass, definitely not Cafcass, not your mate down the pub who's been through the system. No, he won't tell you this either. The Section 7 interview, is not about the truth. I know, shocking. You thought you were walking into some sort of, I don't know, some sort of courtroom TED talk, didn't you? I'll just explain. Let me explain. I'll explain everything clearly, so to show how she's lied, and then you're going to point out the inconsistencies, maybe bring in a timeline and a bit of logic, maybe, because we all need a bit of logic, don't we? That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is this. You are being psychologically assessed without being told you're being psychologically assessed. Fair, isn't it? I know. Lovely, isn't it? Let's have a look at what Cafcass are actually doing, shall we? They're not sitting there thinking, let's figure out who's telling the truth. Shall we hear? Who's telling the truth? No. They are thinking, is this man safe enough, stable enough, predictable enough to increase contact with this child? That's it. That's the whole game. And while you're busy explaining what happened in 2000 on a Tuesday at 3:47 p.m., they're watching your tone, your face, how fast you speak, whether you interrupt without, well, you should never interrupt, whether you get irritated, because they're not listening like a lawyer would listen or a counselor would listen. They're reading you like a risk. And why most men completely destroy themselves. Now, here's what usually happens. Man walks in thinking, I've got this. I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to give them what's for. I'm going to tell them what's what. 10 minutes later, literally 10 minutes later, he's explaining everything. He's talking faster. He's getting frustrated. He's mentioning the mother every 12 sentences. He's correcting Cafcass. He's just trying to be clear. And Cafcass sat there thinking, right, emotionally reactive, this one. Emotionally reactive, defensive, still focused on the conflict, limited insight. And it's game over for you. Game over. Not because he's a bad father, but because he presented like a risky one. Let me translate this for you. What Cafcass is thinking. Okay. When you talk, this is what they hear. You might say, she lied about everything. They hear, no insight, blames others, risk. You say, I just want my rights. They hear, adult focused, not child focused, risk. You say, I don't understand why they're saying this. They hear, doesn't understand concerns, risk. You say, I'm calm, while sounding like a kettle about to boil. And they hear, not calm. So what actually wins a Section 7? It's not intelligence. It's not evidence. It's not how many screenshots you've got saved in your phone, like you're building Netflix or something, a Netflix documentary, that's right. It's this: emotional control, self-awareness, child focus, consistency. Boring, isn't it? I know. That's why most people don't do it. That's why they fail. Let's talk about self-awareness, shall we? Because most people haven't got any. Let's put it like that. Here's the problem. Most people think, I know how I come across. Don't worry about that. I'll be fine. It'll be fine. No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't be in this situation. Let's be honest. Self-awareness is this. Not what I meant, but how did that land? Because in court and in Cafcass intentions mean absolutely nothing. Impact is everything. So how do you actually build self-awareness? Let me tell you. Let me tell you what works, a little bit of things that I've done over the years. And I'll tell you what people don't want to do. Record yourself speaking. Yes, awkward. It's awkward. Do it anyway. Sit there, answer a question and record it. Then listen to it back. And I promise you, you'll go, do I actually sound like that? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You'll hear tension, speed, irritation, rambling, defensiveness. And that's the version Cafcass hears. Not the version in your head where you're a calm, wise, and articulate like Morgan Freeman. No. Would I say this in court test? Now, this is what people need to understand, right? This is part they need to understand. This is court. This is court. This is your family. Speaking to Cafcass, anytime you're dealing with a professional, that is your court date. That is your court date. Simple. Simple as that. So, before you send any message, ask yourself, would I be happy reading this out in front of a judge? If the answer is yes, maybe not, then congratulations. You've just prevented yourself from ruining your own case. The 2-second pause. This one changes everything. Everything. Before you answer anything, pause. 1, 2, and then speak. And do you know why this matters? Because reactive people don't pause. They fire. And that's what Cafcass is testing. And how do I know that? Because I was a reactive person. I used to fire the questions out there, fire the answers out there. You're control. You control. That's right. Stop giving speeches. You're not on a podcast. This is a big one. You don't need to explain every fucking thing. You don't need to. You don't need to give context. You don't need to go back 5 years. Answer, stop. And that's it. Because the more you talk, the more you reveal. And that's not always a good thing. Speaking for more than 5 seconds, 10 seconds max, you're saying too much. Now, your favorite topic, the mother, that needs to calm down. Let's talk about this because this is where people lose it. And I mean, lose it. Yeah. You might have the best answer in the whole bloody galaxy of the world. But the second you start going, well, she's always been, and she did, and she said, you've lost. You've lost because now you sound like her. You're still in that conflict. You're emotionally involved and you haven't moved on. Because if you had moved on, you'd be nothing like my ex-wife, where she's still going there, hell-bent on making my life hell. What is it, 18 years, 15 years after everything? 16 years after everything, still hell-bent on making my life hell because she hasn't moved on, because she still loves me. Just my theory. Anyway, and Cafcass is thinking, this child is going to be in the middle of all this shit forever. And they generally are when you've got a crazy psycho ex-bird wife, whatever you want to call them. And here's the behavior you need to show now. Let me simplify it for you. You walk into that interview and you are calm, steady, child-focused, slightly boring. No, not slightly boring. Very fucking boring. Yes, boring. You are not there to impress anyone. You're not there to chat up the Cafcass officer. You're not there to make friends. You're there to be seen as safe. Simple. What does safe look like? Safe looks like this. Boring. Yes, I understand concerns have been raised. I want what's best for my child. These are boring things. I'm happy to follow guidance. I want things to progress safely. Do you notice something? Do you notice what I'm saying here? There's no drama, no edge, no ego. What unsafe looks like. Unsafe looks like this. Explaining everything, defending every detail, correcting every point, reacting emotionally, talking about fairness, because fairness is not the test. Safety is. Being boring is. And here's the bit no one tells you. Not even your friend Perry down the pub. You don't need Cafcass to agree with you. You need them to feel comfortable recommending you and recommending more time with you and your child. That's it. That's your job. So what should you be doing every day before the section 7 starts? Right, well, let's make this practical. Daily, I would be doing daily, not I'll think about it. Daily. Morning reset. Yes, this sounds basic, but it works. Ask yourself, what does my child need from me today? Not, what's she done today? You see the difference? Practice answers out loud. Not in your head. In your head, it always sounds great. Out loud. Because your mouth behaves very different to your brain. Catch yourself when you start ranting. Because you will. Everyone does. And the key is noticing it and stopping. Train yourself to stay calm when triggered. Because Cafcass will trigger you. That's their job. That's what they're going to try and do. Yes, on purpose. And they will do it, and they're very good at it. And that's when you're being tested. The final reality check for you. Let me leave you with this little nugget. You can be right, justified, honest, and still lose because of how you've come across. Or you can be controlled, self-aware, child-focused, and move forward. And you say this to yourself before the interview. Before you go into the interview. In fact, say it every day. I'm not here to prove I'm right. I'm here to show that I'm safe. And that's the difference between staying stuck in supervised contact and moving forward. And no, before anyone else starts moaning, this isn't about playing the system. It's about understanding how the system actually works because you're playing by different rules. Until next time, peace and love. And don't forget, if your ex-missus or ex-partner, husband or ex-boyfriend still hates you, it's because he loves you. The fact that you both still are angry at each other for years and years and years afterwards is because you still love each other. It's a fine line between love and hate. It's a fine line. When you know that line's there, it's a fine line.